Hello friend, this is Prabhanshu Misra and you are watching the Horti-science. Today we will discuss about the ICR JRF 2025 question paper. So let's start. The first question is, for commercial cultivation of pineapple, high density planting is recommended. Yes, it is true. And at wider spacing, light is not fully utilized by the leaves and part of it drop down. Yes, it is also true. And R is correct explaining to A. Why it is correct explaining? Because in the normal spacing, इन जब हम नॉर्मली प्लांट करते हैं तो प्लांट स्पेसिंग जो रहता है वहाँ पे ज़्यादा रहता है, इस वजह से जो सनलाइट है वो फुली जो प्लांट है उसको कैप्चर नहीं कर पाता, ऑब्जर्व नहीं कर पाता, और उसके जो लीव्स रहते हैं वो ड्रॉप डाउन रहते हैं, जो वो हमारे सॉइल से टच रहते हैं, वहाँ पे पैथोजन के इन्फेक्शन रहता है। देयरफॉर इन द पाइनएप्पल कल्टीवेशन हाई डेंसिटी प्लांटिंग इज मोस्ट एडॉप्टेबल बिकॉज इट डिडंट रिक्वायर द अर्थिंग ऑफ ऑपरेशन, और वहाँ पे इसमें लॉगिंग की प्रॉब्लम नहीं रहती, इस वजह से हाई डेंसिटी कॉमर्शली जो है एक्सप्लॉइटेड किया जाता है पाइनएप्पल में। देयरफॉर द आर इज करेक्ट एक्सप्लेनिंग द ए। ओके, another question is, PM Kisan is a central sector scheme with 100% funding from Government of India. Yes, it's true. It is become the operational from 1/12/2018. Yes, it's also true. It started from 2018. Definition of the family for the schemes is husband, wife, and minor children. Yes, this is a basic the definition of the family. And D option is support of 12,000. No, this is the wrong because they are giving the 6,000 per year in three different subsidy. Okay, not the 12,000. So here the D is wrong. First A, B, C is correct only. Okay. Another question is, the carbohydrate have dual role in the cutting. Yes, carbohydrate have the dual role in the cutting. What is the dual role is, until there is root initiation, carbohydrate enable a cutting to survive. Yes, and it cause of rooting carbohydrate are essential. Yes, this is dual effect of the carbohydrate. Basically, what is the role of carbohydrate? As you know, the carbohydrate is the major source of the energy which utilize in the respiration, and ultimately we got the energy. And when the insufficient carbohydrate is not there in the initial stage, if you see the plant in initial cutting stage, first they are sprouts, but later stage the sprouts are dried. Why it is because जब हम स्टार्टिंग में करते हैं तो सफिशिएंट मात्रा में ये जो स्टोर कार्बोहाइड्रेट रहता है, बट लेटर स्टेज में जब वो यूटिलाइज हो जाता है, रूट इनिशिएशन स्टार्ट नहीं होता, तो जो हमारे कटिंग्स जो स्प्राउट्स किए हैं, जो स्प्राउट्स ड्राई कर जाते हैं। देयरफॉर द कार्बोहाइड्रेट इज द have the major role in the cutting. Okay, if you see the biochemical and physiological basis of rooting of cutting, then your basic principle is clear, and basic concept is also clear. Okay, another question is, the peduncle size during the export of mango should not be more than 1 centimeter. This is the basically the standard which was used for the export purpose, standardized by APEDA and another nations. So if you are trying to reading these types of question, you must visit the APEDA sites and another standard. Okay, because these types of question not given in the normal competitive book. Okay, another is that the origin of wound induced de novo adventitious roots in genera vitis is, in the genera vitis, the medullary ridge are the major role where the de novo adventitious roots initiated. Basically, these types of question they took from the plant propagation book by Hartman and Kester. Basically, this is a very big book, not possible to read in the UG times, but you at least know the at least what those questions which are already will asked, सच एज द पहले की ये जो सिट्रस के ऑलरेडी पूछ चुके हैं, इस बार ये यहाँ पे ब्रिटिश के पूछ रहे हैं, तो इस टाइप्स के एटलीस्ट आपको पता होना चाहिए मेजर मेजर क्रॉप्स के। ओके, विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग नॉट ए वैरायटी ऑफ फेनुग्रीक? So Hisar Sonali, Hisar Swarna and Hisar Mukta is the fenugreek variety, but Hisar Swarup is the fennel variety, not the fenugreek variety. So don't be confused here. Another question is very simple. The scientific name and their common name. Spine guard is Momodica dioica. Tassel guard is Momodica subangulata, species Renigera. Giant spine guard is Momodica cochinchiensis and bitter guard is the normal Momodica cherencia. Another question is calculate the amount of water for scheduling irrigation in grapes at irrigation water and cumulative point of evaporation ratio is 1 with the 6 centimeter of CPE. So you know the formula of this scheduling irrigation is irrigation water and cumulative point of evaporation is equal to irrigation water divided by CPE. Okay. So what you have? You have this value is 1. So 1 is equal to you didn't have the irrigation water, so you just keep it as like IW divided by you have the CPE value that is 6 centimeter. Okay, so IW is equal to 6 1 ja 6. Okay, then your answer is 6 centimeter. Okay, so your answer is 6 centimeter. You just know the basic calculation, just like the scheduling irrigation fertilizer and their dosage, number of plants, how much, and in different planting system. So these are the basic calculation. Maybe possibility they will ask, and several times they have already asked. Okay, another question is the basic chromosome number of sweet potato is 15. Basically it is a hexaplide and chromosome number is 90. So 15 into 6, 90. Okay. Another is the soil structure is related to mutual arrangement of the particles in soil, yes. Orientation of particles in the soil, yes. Organization of particle in the soils, yes. Size of particle, no. The size of particle is basically soil texture, not the structure. Rest of these three is soil structure, but the size of particle is related to soil texture. Okay. Another is the sand pear is the variety of pear and most suitable for the plants. Yes, sand pear are commercially used in the plants condition. It require only 159 hours of chilling and can also withstand high temperature and high wind during the summers. Yes, R is also correct and R is correct explaining to A. Why? Because the sand pear having the ability to withstand the high temperature and high wind and also require only 159 hour or 150 hours chilling. Therefore it has the easily accommodated under the plants condition. Okay, therefore the both A and R are true and R is correct explaining to A. Another question is leaf tearing is considered beneficial for banana plantation at higher temperature. Okay, splitted leaves reduce the photosynthetic efficiency and are subjected to minimum heat damage. Yes, both are true and R is correct explaining to A. What is the leaf tearing and splitting? Basically in the high temperature and high wind velocity leaf become the splitted, वो split हो जाता है और उससे फोटोसिंथेटिक एफिशिएंसी कम हो जाती है जिससे प्लांट अंडर द हाई हीट या स्ट्रेस कंडीशन में सरवाइव करता है. बेसिकली लीफ टीयरिंग, लीफ स्प्लिटिंग, लीफ रोलिंग इज द सेल्फ एडॉप्टेशन मैकेनिज्म अंडर द स्ट्रेस कंडीशन. ओके, with those crops which having these types of characters are there, they are easily adapt under the adverse condition. Okay, another is the calculate the number of plants per hectare under the hexagonal system if the plants to plant distance is 10 meter. Okay, in the hexagonal system you have the spacing is 10 into 10 meter. If you are not knowing the calculation under the hexagonal system and if you know the square system under the 10 into 10 meter, and that is commercially follow under the mango crops. Okay, if you are planting the 10 into 10 as this simple you knowing the 100 plant accommodated under the 1 hectare condition. Okay, and you know the 15% more plant required under the hexagonal system. So 15 means plus 50, so total 115. If you are not knowing the calculation in this way, ये एक इजी ट्रिक है, इससे भी आप इसको सॉल्व कर सकते हैं बेस्ड ऑन द हाउ मच परसेंटेज इज मोर रिक्वायर, हाउ मच परसेंटेज लेस रिक्वायर, like that you may take the your answer. Okay, another is the again very simple question. NHP was set up during the year 1984. This is a very simple and repeated question. Another is the SRK, S locus receptor kinase, is the male determinant of sporophytic self-incompatibility in Brassica oleracea. No, SRK is the not male determinant. Okay, this is the female determinant. Okay, and what is the male determinant? In the case of sporophytic self-incompatibility is SCR, SCR and SP11. This gene is for the male determinant and SRK is the female determinant. Okay, so don't confuse. And these two genes are under the sporophytic cell in incompatibility. And what gene is regulated under the gametophytic cell incompatibility is SCF, SCF dash SLF. This is for the male. Okay, and sRNAs, sRNAs. Okay, this is for female. So these two gene for under the gametophytic self incompatibility. Okay, and SCR and SRK under the sporophytic self incompatibility. Basically what is this? This is the enzymatic nature. ये genes हैं जो enzymatic के regulation को control करते हैं. So those having the male determinant and those having the female determinant, वो male में pollen से और stigma से secrete होते हैं और दोनों जब कांटेक्ट में आते हैं तो वहां पे वो एनालाइज करते हैं दीज आर द सेम एस लोकस और डिफरेंट एस लोकस. इफ द सेम एस लोकस then it calls the self incompatible, and if the different s locus then it calls the self compatibility nature. Okay, so if you reading the molecular basis of self incompatibility then you knowing the these types of the question. Okay, another is the pollen recognition is the and rejection mechanism explained for the sporophytic cell. Yes, it is true. Oh, basically the genes are regulated as the pollen is accepted or rejected. So here the both statements are means first statement are false and second statement is true. You know the which gene is regulated for the male determinant and which one is the female determinant in both self incompatibility condition. Okay, either it is sporophytic or gametophytic. Okay, another question is argin promote the flowering in pineapple because as you know the argin application increase the ethylene synthesis, and you know the ethylene is responsible for the flowering in the pineapple. So your answer is second one. Argin enhance the ethylene production, and you know the basically ethylene when we apply ethyphan or ethylene that are stable under the acidic condition. Therefore we applied this along with the urea and another alkylating agent, so just increase the pH of the solution. And I have already discussed these types of mechanics under the SRF fruit science section. तो वहां से आप देख सकते हैं कैसे इसका प्रिंसिपल है, कैसे रेगुलेट करता है, why we are applying the urea and another alkylating agent. Okay, another question is blue or cyan LED 400 and 500 nm can result in 20 to 30% more photosynthesis than orange and red lights. They are 600 to 630 nm wavelength. So this is the wrong because the orange and red light having the high photosynthetic efficiency than and another light. So first one is the wrong. Second one is the colored LED lights are used for increasing the photosynthetic efficiency of plants. Yes, it is true. Under the greenhouse condition and speed breeding, we are applying the are used the colored LED that having the all combination of the orange, red, blue and another lights that will increase the photosynthetic efficiency. Okay, so here the first one is the wrong and region is correct only. Another question is the proliferation of the shoots from auxiliary bud of explant. Basically, they are asking the micropropagation step under the rose genotypes. So you just read and try to उसको फिक्स करना है कि इनिशियल स्टार्टिंग टू लास्ट उसको कैसे इसको सीक्वेंस में लगाना है. सो इन द फर्स्ट स्टेज द एक्सप्लांट, वेयर इज द एक्सप्लांट हेयर. सो preparation and pre-treating of the auxiliary bud explant followed by inoculation of the auxiliary bud explant under the laminar airflow cabinet, then the proliferation of the shoots from the auxiliary bud explants, and then elongation of the plantlets, then rhizogenesis of plantlets, and in last primary and secondary hardening of the plant. These are the basic steps in the plant tissue culture. Not only the rose, it follow the all crops. Okay. Another is the which of the following mechanisms promote the cross pollination of flower crops. So clistogamy, chasmogamy is for the self pollination. Flower open but stamens and stigma are hidden by other floral organs. This is also creating the self pollination condition. And self incompatibility. This is a very simple question. You know the self incompatibility, male sterility. These are regulate the cross pollination. Okay. Another is the UV General Assembly has adopted the year 2025 as the International Year of Cooperative, and the 2026 is the International Year of Women in Agriculture. So you know at least last 5 to 6 years from 2020 to 2026 which year is for the which purpose. Okay. तो इस टाइप्स के भी आपको क्वेश्चंस याद रखने हैं. Recently, the government of India set up the National Turmeric Board where its headquarters is located in Telangana. This is a very simple question and Horti-science test series में ये सारे हम कवर किए थे. Banana with 10 chromosome genome are the characteristics of. So here the Eumusa and Rhodoclamus having the chromosome number 11. Basic chromosome number is 11. And the Kalimusa and Astilomusa having the basic chromosome number is 10. This is the basic four groups of the banana. And another group is the Incertiacetus that having the 7 basic chromosome number. So you know the all the groups of banana and their basic chromosome number and another features also, where the cultivated species, where the wild species, and where the plantain types are belong to which groups. Okay. Which of the following vegetable crop is not removing the higher quantity of nutrient from the soil? So you have the option sweet potato, spinach, cauliflower, cucumber. So those crops which having the high dry matter content, having the high potential to use the nutrient. And here the your answer is cucumber is correct because cucumber having the maximum water content up to 96 to 97%, having the water content, therefore it require only less quantity of nutrients. Another is the which of the following is called as king of spices. Very simple question and repeated question. Answer is black pepper. Another is tuberization and early bulking are most crucial for nutrient observation in plant. Yes, it is true. Basically, early types require the more nutrient because very fast growth are there. Okay. Phosphorus by itself has the role in the play in the providing resistant against the late blight in potato. No, because the minerals and nutrients having not the major role for the providing the resistant are tolerant to any kind of disease or pest. They having the potentiality to increase the immune system but not the major role नहीं रहता है इसका. Therefore the statement first one is correct and second one is wrong. Another is the variety Princess 77 belong to which of the following turf lawn grass? So, if you know the almost all variety which was released for the turf grass or lawn grass belong to the Cynodon dictydon. Only little one or two variety are there for the Poa agrostis lolium, but most of the variety are for only the Cynodon. दूब ग्रास जो हमारा है उसी के लिए कमर्शियली जो यूज होता है. So therefore if you are not knowing the basic answer, if you are directly taking your answer in the Cynodon, then obviously 90% chance your answer is correct. Okay. Another question is guava variety and their parent. So Allahabad Surkha is the seedling selection. Hisar Surkha is apple color into Banarsi Surkha. Arka Mulla is Allahabad Safeda into triploid. And Hisar Safeda is Allahabad Safeda into seedless. This is very simple question and repeated question. Another is the pineapple plants flower 10 to 12 months after planting. Yes, it is true. And second statement, the fruits of variety Mauritius mature 11 to 12 months after planting. Yes, it is also true. This is the only variety which give the flower after 7 to 9 months after planting, and again it will take 3 to 4 months for the maturity. So total it will take about 11 to 12 months for the maturity after the planting. Okay. Another is the lenticephorus canals meant of the storage in the fluid of mango is called chimp. Basically जो मैंगो में लिक्विड टाइप्स का जो इरिटेंट रहता है वो क्या रहता है. इन नॉर्थ इंडियन कंडीशन में पीपल नॉर्मली सेइंग इट इज ए चेप. I don't know south condition what they are using, which term they are using, but in north condition they are using the chimp in Hindi. Okay. Which of the following ornamental plants are suitable for the water garden? And you have the option is Oponogeton, Gypsophila. Gypsophila is the annual crops. Another is the Nilambo lucia. So Kamal is the water purpose, means water garden में यूज होता है. Tropanatus chestnut ये भी वाटर गार्डन में यूज होता है. सो योर आंसर इज जिप्सोफिला एलेजेंस, बेबी ब्रीथ जिसे बोलते हैं. ये एक एनुअल क्रॉप्स है जो फिलिंग पर्पज के लिए यूज होता है. तो ये प्लांट्स एरिया में मीन्स ड्राई एरिया में किया जाता है. अनदर रेस्ट थ्री इज suitable for the water garden. So okay. Another is the very simple and repeated question. Choose the correct descending order of vitamin C contained in the, so maximum in the flesh, followed by placenta, and low in the seeds. Another is the nutrient and their deficiency symptoms. Okay, this is a very simple question if your basic fundamental is clear. So strip chlorosis mainly vitamins, not the veins. Okay, while veins remain green. So intervinal chlorosis means the veins are greens, but in between the space is yellowish in color. So intervinal chlorosis is the symptom of which nutrient deficiency? Mg and Mn. Okay, Mg and Mn. So intervinal chlorosis symptom of Mg and Mn. Leaves with brown necrotic margins. Wilted appearance of the plant. जब हमें necrotic and wilted appearance होता है, that is the deficiency symptoms of potassium. Okay, so this is for all crops. And reddish discoloration. When you see the discoloration term, then your answer is potassium. Okay, means P. Phosphorus, sorry, phosphorus. And scorching and necrotic is potassium. Okay. Another is the chlorosis starting from the leaf tips, later leaves turn yellowish brown. जो नाइट्रोजन का सिम्टम्स है उसमें टोटली क्लोरोसिस होता है, फुली लीव्स है, नॉट द इंटरवाइनल क्लोरोसिस. सो दिस इज द वेरी सिंपल क्वेश्चन फॉर द नाइट्रोजन. ओवरऑल लीव्स is showing the chlorosis symptom. For phosphorus, the discoloration, potassium, necrotics and wilting appearance, Mg and Mn for the intervinal chlorosis, and for iron whitish appearance in the leaves उसमें रहता है. इस टाइप्स के बेसिक बेसिक जो सिम्टम्स हैं वो आपको याद रखने हैं. Another is the arrange the plum variety on the basis of ripening early to late. Okay, this is a tricky types of question. Local people are easily solving this. So first one is the red butte. This is the early variety. So you, if you knowing the early and late variety at least, then you easily solve these types of question. Santa Rosa having the early, mid, late. There are several variations in this variety. Another is the Mariposa. So take first one is the first earliest variety, then the Santa Rosa early variety, and then you have the Frontiers mid variety and Mariposa is the late variety. So like this A, B, D, C. Try to know the at least early and late variety of all crops. For control of pod borer in check B. P. 6 pheromone trap is installed. If the pod borer means the attack start after the flowering, so before that you kept the mm, pheromone traps. So at which stage the flower bud initiation stage, this is the best stage when you apply the pheromone trap. Another, the peach variety and their flash color. This is a very simple, again very simple question. Sarbati, you have the yellow. Prabhat, greenish white types. Springtime is white flash and harrow blood is blood flash. This is very simple question from UG times. The several times you must be readed this. Another question is the which one of the true for the grape cultivar Himrod. Himrod is the grapes variety commercially grown under the North Indian condition. So their parent is Ontarian to Sultana. Yes, it is true. Yellow green berry. Yes, it is also true. Vigorous vine with heavy yield. Yes, it is vigorous and heavy yielder. These three traits are true. Good keeping and shipping quality. No, it's having not good keeping quality. So D is wrong. A, B, C is correct. Okay. Another is the which of the following not a heat tolerant variety of potato. So in the case of potato, you must know the which one is the heat tolerant, which one is the cold tolerant. Okay. These types of varieties several times they have asked. Okay. So here the Kufri Asoka Kiran Lima is the heat tolerant variety. Another is the Kufri Sarpa is not the heat tolerant variety. Next question is arrange the following steps of pure line selection. So you know the pure line selections के steps बताने हैं under the self pollination. So pure line basically self pollinated crop में होता है. In this question is repeated question, again the repeated question. Here the selection of the plant on the basis of phenotype is the first stage, followed by the growing individual plants progeny and reject the undesirable progeny. Okay, followed by conducting the preliminary yield trials and rejecting the inferior progeny. Okay, then again the conducting the replicated yield trial in the several locations. Okay, then select the best progeny over the several locations, and in the last multiplication of seed of the best progeny. This is the very basic fundamental steps under the pure line. And you know the all another breeding method जो भी हमारे either it is a mass selection, bulk पेडिग्री, सबके आपको स्टेप्स याद रखने हैं, कभी पूछे जा सकते हैं और ये रिपीटेड क्वेश्चंस है. नॉन क्लाइमेटिक वेजिटेबल ripen best. Non climatic, you know when it ripe under the when still attached to the plant. So B is correct. Very simple question. Pinching, a special horticulture practice, is performed in which of the following flower crops? So marigold, yes, marigold having the pinching practice used, and rose having the disbudding and disshooting practice because they want only single flower in a branch. ओके, पिंचिंग करने से क्या रहता है, मल्टीपल स्प्राउट्स इनिशिएट होते हैं तो मल्टीपल फ्लावर्स आता है. तो बेसिकली लूज फ्लावर्स के लिए यूज किया जाता है पिंचिंग. डिसबडिंग डिस शूटिंग ये जो है हमें कट फ्लावर के लिए यूज करते हैं. तो रोज के लिए हम डिसबडिंग डिस शूटिंग करते हैं, ग्लेडियोलस के लिए अगेन डिसबडिंग डिस शूटिंग ये सब करते हैं. और जो कार्नेशन है, कार्नेशन में सेवरल टाइप्स ऑफ पिंचिंग प्रैक्टिस आर यूज, वो सिंगल पिंच, डबल पिंच, फुल पिंच, half pinch. These types are several types of pinching techniques used in the carnation. So you have the answer is A and D only. Okay. Another is the sequence the parentage of guava variety. This is again simple and repeated question. So Allahabad Safeda into triplide. So Arka Kiran, no. Safed Gem, no. Safed Gem, no. Arka Amula. Here, if you know the first answer of this मीन्स जो आपका ए है, अगर इसके आपको पेरेंट्स बताएं देन इजीली आपको सारा आ जा रहा है. सो द अर्का मुल्ला अलाहाबाद सफेद इंटू ब्लड अर्का किरण कमसारी इंटू पर्पल लोकल सफेद जेम इज इलाहाबाद सफेदा इंटू कोहिर एंड पूसा आरूसीज पंत प्रभाट इंटू अर्का किरण. वेरी सिंपल क्वेश्चन. ओके. Which of the following rules has stabilized the Sikandar Bagh in Lucknow, उत्तर प्रदेश? सो यू नो द बेसिक एटलीस्ट बेसिक गार्डन एंड जो है उनको कौन स्टेबलाइज किया था, ये आपको याद रखना पड़ेगा. सो योर आंसर इज थर्ड वन, अली शाह. Another is the which of the following species variety are used for the root stock for propagation rose in India? So रोज के propagations के लिए कौन कौन सा root stock यूज होता है? रक्तगंधा, no. रक्तगंधा is the variety not used in the root stock. Rosa multiflora is used. Rosa barbiana is also used. Rosa canina, no. Rosa canina is not commercially used for the root stock purpose. Basically, this is cultivated for the seed purpose and their seed oil is extracted. Okay. So Rosa canina यहाँ पे use नहीं होता. So your answer is B and C only. Okay. Another is the indicator plant of Ipchocortis viral disease in citrus. This is very simple and repeated several times. This was repeated. Okay. So your answer is Rangpur lime and citron are the indicator of the Ipchocortis. Kagji lime, West Indian lime is the indicator of the Tristigia. Okay. Another is the average per day water requirement for rice is about 10 mm. Your answer is 10 mm. This is a agronomical question. The number of cans to be retained in each vine while pruning of grape variety Bangalore Blue trends on Bower system. Okay, here the Bower system, you have the variety Bangalore Blue and the spacing is 3 into 6 meter. So your answer is 60 to 80 meter. इसका कोई ऐसा फार्मूला नहीं है. हैंडबुक में एक टेबल दिया गया, वहाँ वैरायटी के अकॉर्डिंग, स्पेसिंग के अकॉर्डिंग एंड ट्रेनिंग के अकॉर्डिंग वहाँ पे सारे का जो प्रूनिंग का प्रैक्टिस दिया है, कितने बर्ड्स रिटेन्स करेंगे, कितने हम करेंगे. तो 7 से 8 वैरायटी का वहाँ पे कंपाइलेशन है, वहाँ से आप इसको पढ़ सकते हैं. ओके. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज which propagation techniques should be adopted in tissue culture to obtain virus free clean plant? Okay, clean plants हम virus free कर रहे हैं तो माइक्रो कटिंग नो, माइक्रो बडिंग नो, माइक्रो ग्राफ्टिंग commercially used in the citrus condition. Micro grafting commercially follow in the citrus condition for the virus free plant production. Okay. Another is the which of the following root stock available has originated as chance seedling? So you know the M9 is chance seedling root stock. Okay. Another one is the best on fat percentage. Arrange the following in descending order.